just breaking out of routine. So go explore a new city that you've never gone to together. Literally take a walk around the neighborhood, but just go in the different direction and a different street than you normally do.
So from a research perspective, how does love grow? Are there stages of love that people can count on? So what can we measure?
Well, I think that when it comes to stages of love and stage theories in general, they're pretty complicated models to produce. But we do know something about how romantic love starts, how it gets triggered, what the process is going to be. That's kind of mapped out. There are other people studying things like compassionate love, companionate love. There's been a measure for passionate love as well. But nobody's really been able to kind of like put it into a model. So a number of years ago, I was invited to work on a book project called The 7 Stages of Marriage with Reader's Digest. They had done research. They decided that there wasn't anything about it out there, so they were going to do something. And they actually had done a fairly good job of identifying stages. And the stages are briefly the passion stage, falling in love. The second stage is realization. The next stage is rebellion, then cooperation, then reunion. Get rid of empty nest. Empty nest sucks. Reunion is great, much better. And then there's an explosion stage, which can come and happen at any time. It's problems, issues, illnesses, death, loss. It actually kind of can be across all the board. And then the last one was called completion, although there's another researcher out there who came up with the term contentment, and I kind of like the blend of the two. So the very first workshop I did, somebody raised their hand and said, is there any research behind this? And being a practitioner researcher, that matters to me. So I've spent a number of years now coming up with the Stages of Marriage questionnaire. And one of the things I did is research all the love models that people have, and I put some questions into each of the stages according to where I thought they might belong. And I can't say definitively that I know what the stages of love are, but certainly we know it starts with romantic love, and if it doesn't, most people don't last very long.
I do believe whatever stages, especially when it comes to our psychology and relationship, it's fluid and dynamic. And and I like when you said, at the beginning it's kind of us, but it's us delusional. It's not real us. And when we go to the I stage, when you are rebellion, or when you want to change your partner.
That's when the most affairs happen.
Then I think for me as a therapist, this is where people stuck. This is the power struggle that they really cannot let go of all this dream that my partner should be the way I want it to be, or how flexible I can be. And this is the challenge. This is the greatest challenge for me and for the couples to grow. But once they're able to do that and develop their own independence, being able to develop these communication skills, understanding ourselves and understanding our partners, and go deeper from this kind of like a superficiality of delusional elements to deeper aspects of ourselves, being more soft, rather than being angry and being kind of explosive, to kind of vulnerability and sadness and longing and desire, and being able to communicate, in a softer way. Then you're able to find the space in which you can grow and, to a better place, a place of really kind of like harmony and connectivity.
And I think that a lot of the times people really miss that delusional, exciting, intense, intimate part of the beginning of a relationship. So a lot of times when they're in these different stages, they're kind of wondering, how do I get back? How do I get back to that excitement, fun times? And a lot of it, when I work with couples, is talking about, Helen, you talk about novelty and the importance of that in a relationship, and it taps into the dopamine system and oxytocin and bonding. So we talk about just simple, practical ways you can reignite those systems. So things like laughing together, going to a comedy show, exercising together, signing up for a race together and supporting each other in that, listening to loud, exciting music, go to a concert, there's so many simple ways, just breaking out of routine. So go explore a new city that you've never gone to together. Literally take a walk around the neighborhood, but just go in the different direction and a different street than you normally do. So it's not rocket science as to how to reignite the intense, passionate parts of the relationship. It just takes breaking out of that routine.
You know, it's so interesting because you're talking about the stages and all, and I study the brain, so I'm absolutely gripped with listening to this. But I could just add this one thing from the brain. You know, we put a lot of people into the scanner, brain scanner, who were in long-term happy relationships, and they took various satisfaction questionnaires, and we looked at the people who scored very high on marital satisfaction questionnaires, and to see whether their brain was different from people with less. And there were 3 parts of the brain that became activated when you're in a long-term happy relationship. One is the brain region linked with empathy. The second is a brain region linked with controlling your own emotions. And the third is a big brain region actually linked with what we call positive illusion, simply overlooking what you don't like about them and focusing on what you're doing.
I love that. I heard you say that on a different podcast, and I thought about it, and I thought, you know what it is? Being a couple, sharing kindness, being empathetic, bonding with each other, having great sex on a regular basis, and good sex too, but having all of that, being focused on each other over a length of time, being faithful, right? When you have all that and you really want to get close, the positive illusion just happens.
So it sounds like there are definitely some progressive stages that happen in relationships, and some of them involve growing closer, some of them involve having your own independence, but ultimately in a loving, lasting relationship, you want to come together in community and you guys can have a happy marriage.